Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I've got Daniel Weitmann, CEO and founder of Goldencoin Suisse. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Michael. Pleasure to be here.
Give us some background on you and your company, and I would like to move forward about why people should own physical gold.
Right. Well, my background is economics and finance and business. I worked as a CFO in several listed public companies like Philips, P&G, and things like that for a long time. But as I said, background in economics and finance and business. And so a couple of years ago, I set up this company, Goldencoin Suisse. I thought it was a great opportunity to actually do something in the gold market, to bring gold and the way gold is actually used and work with today with fintech to a modern era where it can actually make it more liquid.
Okay, all right. Talk to us about your thoughts about owning gold and also your forecast for the gold market, because you also have that.
Yeah, well, gold has been currency and is currency for 5,000 years now. I think many people know that. And central banks still use gold as the preferred currency between themselves. Also now, since not very much, long time ago back, we have the SDR, which is now the currency that is regulated between banks, and that has a portion of it, approximately 5%, which is gold. So when countries now settle their trade balances between each other, there's a gold portion that goes with that. So we're actually living in a gold standard era now again. Mm-hmm. Although we don't see that because we don't actually use gold, we get the second. The lower tier of that SDR currency, which is then local currencies issued by central banks such as the dollar, the yen, the yuan, the euro, and everybody else. So why should you own gold? Well, it's higher up in the rank, getting closer to gold. So you're actually getting closer to what is actually worth something. Everything else is an inflatable kind of balloon. You can issue paper as much as you want, and that comes with inflation, and it comes with the devaluation and a lot of other things. And if you step up a bit in the food chain, you come up to gold. So it's a nicer, more comfortable place to be.
Got it. Now I'm going to get into your mobile app and your company in a second, but before we do that, you've got a background in economic forecasting, and I'd like to get your opinion of what you see happening as we go forward in the price of gold.
Well, a lot of people say that gold price is manipulated or not manipulated. It's my true belief that it is manipulated, and it is so for a while. But if you understand the reasons of the manipulation, you can also kind of understand that at some point that manipulation is going to go from pushing the price down to letting the price up. Now, if you look back for a couple of years back, you can see that all the central banks have been accumulating gold more than anything else. So that's an indicator. They've been pressing the price of gold down as well. So they've been pressing the price down, manipulating it downwards to kind of buy gold, and continue to do so. But at some point, they have agreed, and that will come, in my opinion, in the next, I don't know, maybe months or years, that now when we have this SDR currency between central banks installed, which was actually definitely installed now in the end of July, then it only makes sense with the central banks having stocked up on gold to increase the price of gold so that they have, more money than they had before. So if the central banks stock up, have more money than they did before because they increased the price of gold, because it is only a 5% share on the SDR, then they can actually solve all the non-performing loans and all the bankruptcies are actually, which, the illiquid banks that are out there. So I see that as the only path going forward is for price of gold to have a major reset upwards. And I wouldn't be surprised if you could add another zero to the ounce of gold within the next 3 years.
Wow, adding another zero to the current price of gold is going to be a big shift in a lot of things, not just the price of gold. It's going to change a lot of currencies. Do you think that that's going to really give us a flip from fiat to crypto in order to try and deal with that? Because that's a huge, that's a big global revolution. That's not an evolution. That's a revolution in what's going to happen if you add another zero to gold.
It's happened before, so
yeah, and we had a big change when it happened.
Yeah, and it happened exactly in the situations when a currency became so debased that you couldn't continue, and that situation is what we have right now. And I'm pretty certain that will happen in the very near future. And that's the kind of agreement between central banks that will happen, so that they then can. There's a lot of trade balance differences or debts also from the U.S. to China, etc., to Saudi and so forth. And this would be a way to kind of settle that debt if they have their gold reserves, which they've been stocking up, buying up at a low price, and then increasing that price so that they can inflate that currency. And then they can kind of liquidate all their debts in a nice way. So if you sit on dollars, then it'll be pretty tragic because it wouldn't be worth very much. And it actually isn't worth very much right now. It's only worth something now because the price of gold is being, pressed down.
I get it. And this concept, I'm not new to this concept of what's gone on with the investment bankers and price manipulation and depression of the value of gold. We can talk more about that in future conversations, and trust me, I'll go all the way down to the end of the line with you on that conversation. Let's move on to your mobile app, the Bullion Master OS X. Tell us what it does and how it does it.
There are a lot of people that own gold today. It's amazingly more than I actually thought. Many people, keep it in a vault. Also, it's vaulted by someone, and or some people even keep it at home in their own safes. And there's a lot of logistics when you're actually going to cash in on that gold. You have to go back to the coin shop or the bullion shop where you actually bought it, and you have to sell it back to that person at actually a big discount. They'll be looking at it, and it is a pretty difficult thing to do. Once you get your funds and you send it to your bank is going to ask you, where did you get all this money from? And that's going to be more complicated still. So there's a lot of problems and issues when you actually work with gold. So if you store gold, it is a problem. So we're actually cutting down all that to have your gold on an app, segregated, so that you can actually use it and have payouts to your account whenever you want to. And you can also load your MasterCard with it and go shopping. So you can use it as a currency like a central bank, so you won't be dependent on other currency. You could actually use your own physical segregated gold as your money. So you would be sovereign like as anybody.
Anywhere in the world, because it's accepted anywhere. I get it.
Yeah, there's some limitations actually to the vaulting part. We in Europe, we keep everything vaulted in Switzerland because it's for us the only true democracy left in Europe, and very safe. And they have they're very keen on private property and keeping that right there. So so that's why a lot of people store their things and wealth in Switzerland. There has been a lot of confiscations of retirement funds and pensions of people, like in Poland. They confiscated people's money in banks in Cyprus not many long time ago because the country had a problem of they had to fix their finances. So it makes sense to actually store it in a place where it's geopolitically protected. So that's why we actually store it in Switzerland, Swiss company. And there, but the mobile app. So you have your coins They're on there. You can use them whenever you want to. You can go shopping with them. You can go to an ATM machine with your cash card, pick up your money, and you can actually even send coins to other people.
Brilliant. Okay, I can see that, and universally accepted. Let's talk about your strategy for the United States, specifically in the area of gold IRA.
Yes, there's a big market with gold IRAs in the United States, and it's illiquid today as well, right? So it's also dependent when people want to cash in on some of their coins or gold or bullion or whatever it is. There's a process of a week and a half before they actually get their money back, and the spreads are pretty large as well. So we want to cut that down to a split second, from 1.5 weeks to be able to do that in a second yourself. You go in there, you can sell off a coin. If you have $100,000 in bullion coins and 1-ounce eagles, you can sell one off anywhere from home. You fill up your card and you go out across the street to the ATM machine if you need to, or you can pay, shopping your groceries or whatever you have to. So so that's in progress.
When do you think that'll be finished so people can access that? Yeah,
we already have the MasterCard and everything is installed and everything for Europe, and we're working on the integration for the same thing for the United States. I will be working with a large company in the United States that already is leader in new directed IRAs in bullion and gold. They have $3 billion already in client assets under custody. And there's also a suggestion that we're also working on. That's the health. There's a health account you can have that came out with the Obama administration that allows you also to keep gold bullion in your health insurance scheme. And so you can, and it's tax free, right? So if you have to go to the doctor, you can keep your gold there, and if you need to go to pay any medical expenses, you can also do that with your card. So.
Yes, definitely. A big need that you're fulfilling there. How do I become a client?
Well, it's pretty simple. You just download the app on App Store and sign up and register. We go through a KYC, which is any banks do. You check your passport or identity and go through, utility bills, bank statement to see, proof of residence. That gets done just like any bank. We do a PEP and sanctions. So we're very strict. We follow the bank regulations in terms of anti-money laundering and everything. I actually do that twice. And so that happens. So once you upload your documents, you go through a registration process. They'll see if everything is fine. They'll communicate back to you, our KYC department. When everything is fine, we'll issue the card for you, and you're up and going.
Simple, easy.
Shouldn't take more than a week and a half to get the card.
Daniel, thanks for being a guest on the show. I know we'll talk in future times about various economic scenarios that are going to be playing out, because you bring a perspective to the show that we don't have yet. I'd like to make sure that we do that forward.
Thank you very much, Mike. It's been a true pleasure.
Mine too. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and sign up for our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.